You're listening to
Social Distancing, a podcast produced by Olivet College
to remind you that no matter how far we are from each other,
we're all a part of the
Olivet College family.
Hello and welcome back to our listeners to the OC Social Distancing Podcast. My name is Ryan Shockey and I'm joined today with my co-host, Daine Pavlovski. Daine, how are you doing?
I am so good, Ryan. So happy to be here. It's summer.
Good. It is summer and it is beautiful outside. I'm looking out my window today. Hopefully when you're listening to this podcast, it is just as beautiful as it is today. Just wanted to do some quick reminders. Like we said, this is our OC Social Distancing Podcast. We'd like to share some of the good news and talk about things that are going on in the lives of people at Olivet College and special people to us and special people to the school. And we have two very special guests today. I'm excited about this, Daine. I think they'll play very well together. How about you?
We'll see. No, I'm just kidding. I'm super excited. This is a duo, a dynamic one even, if you will, to steal cliches from the sports world. But this is a pair that I think since we started talking about, hey, we should do social distancing, we're like, we got to get these two on. Because it's going to be a fun conversation. But we do appreciate everybody tuning in again. And for the other previous 8 episodes, we've heard some really nice things. And I know that a lot of people in the Olivet College community really appreciate hearing from others because we are just one big happy Olivet College family. Reminder, you can hear us in a lot of different ways. You can get us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, on Apple Podcasts as well, or through the Olivet College social media. You can find us also on Anchor, but through the Olivet College YouTube channel as well. The marketing department doing a really good job getting it out to where it needs to go. So you can always go find it there. And as always, if you ever have anything you want included in the show, you want to be on the show, you want to ask questions to people, just let us know, either by contacting myself, Daine Pavlovski, or Ryan Shockey. But we do have some incredible guests today, a big get, they say in the broadcast biz. Really great guest today, and I'm excited and really appreciative because I know what everybody's schedules look like. Appreciate everybody involved here in this little Brady Bunch 4 squares we have to take some time and make it happen. One of our guests is the Provost and Dean of Olivet College currently and has been teaching at the college level for over 35 years. But she is somebody who's been really, really helpful to me as a faculty member and helpful to a lot of other people in Olivet throughout the years. And she is the Provost of Olivet College, Maria Davis. Welcome to the show, Maria. Provost Davis, hello.
Hello. Thanks, Daine. Thanks, Ryan. It's great to be here with you.
And then we also have another great guest with us today, part of that dynamic duo, but he is the 27th president of Olivet College, President Stephen Corey. President Corey, welcome to Social Distancing.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be here with you and here with Maria as well. I've never been described, at least in my presence, as a get. At least not since my dating days, when I'm sure I was described that way often. But
so we're going to jump into some questions. So as a faculty member, and Provost Davis, you can probably relate, and President Corey dusting off the teaching cap last semester, maybe you could also relate a little bit here. Sometimes you got to throw a pop quiz. We like to, every week, we try to start with some good news. Something good that's happening around us. And Ryan and I have shared a lot of good news, but we were wondering if maybe Provost Davis, what's some good news you've seen going on or something you've seen or noticed that's just positive, fills you up, it's a good thing?
Well, as you can imagine, I've been spending a lot of time on Zoom meetings and it's wonderful to see everyone. But yeah, I think one of the things I've seen there is a lot of the meetings end with exactly what you've asked for. What's good that's happening. So there's a lot of great things going on at Olivet College. We're getting ready for the fall. As you probably saw, President Corey's announcement. We're looking forward to welcoming everybody back to campus in a safe way. And anyway, so I'm very excited about that and our commitment to being back together where we belong as a family next fall.
I like that. And President Corey, share some good news with us. What's something good going on?
I was going to remark about the same thing, and I heard a little feedback this morning that as we've been talking with our students who are staying at home and staying safe and hopefully starting their summer off well, that I think the statistic I heard was 95% of our our current students are indicating that they're ready to come back in the fall.
That's awesome.
They're already excited about it. As we start making announcements that, hey, we're doing everything possible to be back on campus, they're starting to say, I'm in. And that, I think, is very, very good news.
A+. You both passed. What are you and your family? We can start. We'll go President Corey this time, so no answer stealing. Everybody can pay each other back. But President Corey, what are you and your family doing in this new normal? How are you passing the time? And maybe what are some things you've learned about your family members that you might not have noticed as much before?
Yeah, the last part of that was dangerous.
You got us.
Well, I think, many of us who've been working, I feel for some of our colleagues in the greater community who are not able to work while they're away, and the struggles that they go through. So just a little bit of a serious reflection for just a moment. But I will say that, a lot of time spent on this Zoom. I think we were talking before we came on air, I think this is maybe my 8th or 9th hour on Zoom just today. So a lot of that. But it's been great because it's been a level of connection that I was worried about when we went remote, that it'd be isolating, and it hasn't been. My family, as of right now, is somewhere, I don't know, North Dakota or heading towards Montana somewhere. Because they're heading, many people might know my daughter is a rising senior in college out west in Oregon. And she's got an apartment, and it's time for her to head back there for her summer job and that sort of thing. So my wife Tracy and Carly have headed by car trip instead of plane to head west. But with that said, I was just looking on our calendar because we've been keeping track. Carly has been keeping track of the days that we've been here staying home, staying safe. 71 days. 71 days. Many of those was she and I together before Tracy got back from a delayed return on a trip. And I just have to say, it's been a blessing. It's been a real blessing to get to spend that kind of quality time for me with my adult daughter, who's been away both on the West Coast, and then she was study abroad during the spring semester, and everything that entailed. And then for her to come here and us to be pretty much together all the time for 71 days. And we like each other. That's good.
Still, that's good.
But yeah, so that's been a really fabulous thing. And I will cherish, I'm sure, that period of time, and I think she will too. Forever.
That's great. And Provost Davis, same to you. What are you and your family doing now in the new normal? How are you passing the time? What are you learning about the family members?
So, I'll echo what President Corey said, in that this has been a bit of a gift for my family. My daughter, Anna, who is an Olivet College alumna, is just finished up her training in veterinary school. So she actually came back to stay with us during the lockdown, because she said her apartment up at MSU was going to be very boring. So we kind of got an extra treat to spend some time with her before she's off. She's moving into a house in next month and that sort of thing. So that's been a real treasure to spend some family time. The other thing that's been a big learning for me, my husband's been retired for a couple of years, and I've long wondered whether we would be able to be in the same house together all day and, still speak to each other at the end of the day. And I'm pleased to tell you it is entirely possible. So, so we've had some good unexpected family time together, and that's been great.
If that was a veiled request to retire, it's denied.
I was going to say, we're not making that announcement today.
Well, at least I know it'll be possible someday to stay in the same house with him. So that'd be great. So in terms of other things, it's been, it's been a challenge, as it has been for, I'm sure, a lot of people to work remotely. Zoom fatigue is a real thing, as we know, but it's been nice to be able to, when I can take a break at lunch, to go out, into the sunshine to eat my sandwich, or to go out and putter in the garden a little bit. I've done more gardening this year than I have in decades, literally. So so that's been kind of nice to be able to do that in the middle of the day.
Yeah, and so both of you speak about all the great things, and that's right. We get to spend all this time with our family. I will have to admit that Zoom fatigue is real, and today, don't tell my boss, but I took like a 20-minute nap over lunch. I just laid down on the couch and set my phone alarm for 20 minutes. I haven't done that this entire time, and I woke up 20 minutes later and thought, why haven't I done that before? That was great. I can't do that at work, but being home, you can do that, and it's nice to be there. But we'll start with you, Dr. Davis. What have you noticed has been difficult with this, and how are you overcoming that, either in the work life or your personal life, as we've gone through this?
Like most people, I'm missing the personal contact. I appreciate the Brady Bunch family approach to relationship building and maintaining, but there's nothing like, I think, being with people. Even if you have to be physically distanced from each other, we can be connected in community. So I'm thankful that the weather's nice now, and we've had some driveway meetings with friends, with our chairs spaced apart, and actually I'm seeing my extended family, a few members of them, for the first time in a couple of months this weekend. So anyway, so I think you asked how to overcome it, and I'm trying to do the phone calls and the Zoom meetings to stay connected with people, but that it's difficult. It's been a stress, but you make the best of it. I think that's one of the things I appreciate greatly about the Olivet College spirit, is that we entered into this challenge saying we needed to be patient, we needed to be kind, we needed to be flexible, and that just didn't mean with other people, that meant with ourselves as well. So
the same to you, Dr. Corey. When you look at things that are difficult, and what have you been doing to overcome those obstacles?
Yeah, I miss the serendipity that happens when we're physically together in community. The technology, the intentionality of the way we work now is pretty effective. I mean, in fact, maybe more effective. I mean, we really get to the point. And it is my experience. These are very efficient conversations by and large, but when we're just wandering around campus, up and down the hallway between our offices and the places that we go, over to the dining hall, et cetera, then things happen, wonderful things happen most of the time, and you bump into somebody, and then you have a conversation, or you tell a joke, or the water cooler, quote unquote, conversations that happen. I miss that, and I find that to be a challenge. I too have found, on the flip side of that I have a sister in Wyoming, and I have a sister in Southern California, both with families. My parents, thank goodness, are still with us, and they're in Central California, and we can go many months without, and sometimes much longer than that, without being together as a family. And we've had 3 family Zoom calls during this time, with my parents, with my both sisters, and then my family all together for 20 minutes or 25 minutes or something, talking, seeing each other on screen. And so it's just been an interesting period of time where certain things have become enhanced that have been wonderful, and yet a loss of other sorts of attributes that I certainly couldn't have predicted, how this would go down, but it's been interesting.
Connect with the admissions team during a virtual one-on-one session via Zoom. High school seniors and parents can meet with their admissions rep to cover individual questions for a personalized visit experience. Learn more and register now by emailing admissions@olivetcollege.edu. That's admissions@olivetcollege.edu.
So you've talked about Zoom meetings. I know everybody, I think, can pretty much say that the day-to-day has changed in a lot of ways. But how is I think when you think of it from faculty, you can kind of get an idea of, oh, there's probably some online teaching, it's probably remote instruction, some different delivery modalities. But for a president and a provost of a college, how does your day-to-day change in this new normal? And, obviously, what do you miss? And Provost Davis, we'll start with you.
Zoom meetings can be very functional, yes, but the serendipity that President Corey talked about, the opportunities before a meeting starts, the walk across our beautiful campus, to go somewhere, the happenstance that works to help continue to build community when you happen to bump into someone. But I have to tell you, I think one of the most difficult things for me is missing the students. I was fortunate enough to be teaching a class at the end of the regular semester when we went remote learning, and it was such a treasure to spend a couple hours with them a week on Zoom, even though they were less likely to show me their image than maybe I would have liked, but at least they would talk to me. My day-to-day has changed in that I'm not spending time driving to work right now. So I actually get a little, bizarrely, I can say I actually get a little bit more work done. I'm being more efficient right now, but I'm getting more sleep because I have never in my life ever spent so much time in casual clothing while working. Like I wear my slippers for days at a time.
I have them on right now.
So, that's been a little different. I do wear I know this is an audio, but I've been wearing Olivet College gear. So whatever Zoom meeting I'm in, I'm flying the OC red and white, or, the logos and things, because to me, that's just keeps me buoyed up. So I'm dressing a little differently. I'm not driving anywhere, and I'm having, I'm eating lunch at home by myself, which is really different. I usually look forward to spending that time in community eating. This is going to sound silly, but family eats together. So, I just think some small changes, they're not all bad, but I do miss the people, especially our students, which they wouldn't be there in the summer anyway, so that's a little less different now for the most part, but would see a few of them.
Perfect. And President Corey, being the president of an institution like Olivet College, how has your day-to-day changed?
I haven't worn a tie in 3 months, so there's that. So I'll go ahead and disclose. I had a meeting with the governor the other day, and I had flip-flops on. Never done that before.
That's new.
Yeah, she didn't know. She might have had flip-flops on too. I think she
was going to say she might have. She
zoomed in from home. And I guess I would share, of course, many of the things that Maria has already mentioned, but a lot of the work I do, there's a saying that I believe in, actually, which is a college presidency isn't a job, it's a lifestyle. And so the 9 to 5, the quote unquote 9 to 5 office type work hasn't changed that much. It's just changed the mode in which it's happening. But the rest of the life of the college presidency, we've already talked about going to ball games, going to concerts, other student events, getting out. I would have probably flown thousands of miles over these past few months, visiting alums and donors, I had numerous meetings around the country that were canceled or went virtual, promoting the college, talking about issues that are important to the college, etc. Alumni events that are still coming up that aren't happening So those sorts of things are not happening. And I wonder, what the future will hold. But that life is definitely different in that regard for sure.
I'll start this one with you, Dr. Corey. One of the things I think that many of us really underestimate is the impact that we have on our students on our campus, and then those who work around us and how much they look up to us. And, especially the two of you in high profile leadership areas at the college, the provost and the president, students may be looking to you for advice on how to manage during crisis or lead through crisis. What kind of advice would you have for students that are looking for that kind of tidbit?
I guess the first thing that comes, there's so many ways that I could approach that question, I guess, but the first thing that comes to mind as a general response is care for yourself. And I don't mean that in a self-serving way, in a selfish way. I mean that you have to make sure that you maintain a degree of self-care, self-health, mental well-being, physical well-being. That's going to give you a platform with which to function well, to make good decisions, to handle stress effectively. It's not that it won't be stressful. It's not that you won't get anxious. It's not that you won't worry, but that you'll be much more equipped to move through that quickly and to move through that successfully. And then part two of that is support others in doing the same. And one of the first things, Maria already referenced it, when we returned as a faculty and staff right after with the extended spring break, when we knew this was happening, be kind, be patient, care for yourself and one another sort of message that we set right from the beginning, and then trying to use that as the foundation of everything else that we do. I could come up with all sorts of other sort of technical responses, but at the end of the day, we're people trying to do the best we can, hopefully. I guess I would start with.
It's really powerful and something that I think we all forget. And that's to take care of yourself, right? I mean, we can't do the good work that needs to be done as a leader if you're not taking care of yourself first and foremost. You can't take care of others that depend on you. Maria, that's probably a tough one to follow up on. But what would your advice be to people that are looking to manage or lead through crisis?
President Corey absolutely hit the nail on the head there, and I've been appreciative for his leadership in this. He's been very clear with all of us, and that's been wonderful. I would, maybe to add to that, just that we're all in this together. I mean, whatever the crisis is, this is, we're managing through one right now, but the importance of the team and the communication, and President Corey said it with the support, but I think remembering that everyone is experiencing, I heard someone say this very well, we may not all be in the same boat, we're in the same storm. So let's acknowledge that, and our boats might be a little bit different, so we need to support each other and communicate well with each other, and just to stay calm, that it's the long, it's the long game. It's not a sprint. This is these kind of things often take marathon sort of approaches to get through them, right? You don't want to expend everything in the first few minutes of the race, or you won't make it to the end. So, steady, calm, community-minded, team-minded leadership, I think, is what's really important.
Over the past few weeks, Olivet College celebrated students through Honors Week, comprised of social media highlights and individual awards presented through Zoom sessions. View the full list of 2020 awards and the recipients from all academic departments, the Office of Student Engagement, and the Office of Multicultural Education at www.olivetcollege.edu/news and features.
In case you missed it, check out the Olivet College YouTube channel to watch the baccalaureate and graduation celebration videos that premiered on graduation weekend. Videos featured remarks from students, college leaders, and other special speakers. Congratulations, class of 2020. So President Corey, how do you keep yourself motivated working at home when you could very easily take a nice walk outside or get on the bike? How do you keep yourself going and actually accomplish something at home? It's hard.
Well, I'll go ahead and make a confession, which there are times where I've done exactly, what you suggested, which is in the downtime, I've had a chance to go out for a walk. Like I didn't know I'd have a chance, but hey, I got a downtime. I'm feeling like I need to get up out of this chair, away from the screen. I got an open slot in my calendar. So rather than just picking up the next thing or someone who had just dropped by the office and said, hey, do you have a moment? I took a walk around the block. Yeah, so I think the other thing is, and I suspect this is true for a lot of us actually, which is I take pride in the accomplishments that we're able to make. I feel challenged by the situation that we're presented with, that we're trying to sort out as best we can on behalf of our college as an organization, and more importantly, on behalf of the people which really make up the college, that the things we're doing make a real difference. And so that drives me to do the work that we do, and that we have a good team. We have a good team of people that we're working together with, and are all working hard to do the same thing. Whether it's a drop-in meeting with the faculty who have been coming together, there's another sort of wonderful thing that's happened during this time. A lot of people don't know that our faculty have just been coming together on a regular basis, just a drop-in meeting to support one another, talk about what's happening, what are the challenges they're facing in serving students, what are they hearing from students, how are students doing well, how do we need to change the way we're doing things so they can be successful. It gets me fired up. This is great stuff that's going on. So I think it's those sort of things that keep me going. When I think of students, I'm hoping that they're setting goals for themselves, that they're finding ways to say, hey, this is the chance for me to finally fill in the blank, hit that book series I wanted to read, to learn this new skill, I think you were saying, do yoga. I've always wanted to learn yoga, goat yoga, maybe. I don't know. Or whatever your thing is, or, and have something that you're trying to accomplish, I think for me is, one of the keys to success generally.
Absolutely. And Provost Davis, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going in these trying times?
I hope this doesn't sound too cliche, but I love Olivet College, and I love our students, and I love my colleagues and fellow employees at the college. So that has not changed. So from a practical perspective, if someone's listening to this and wants some strategies, I'll just tell you I've kept a schedule. And I have a place that I go to work. So I think about it as I'm going down the stairs to my basement, little cubby where I've set up my computer with my coffee in hand, and I think to myself, I'm going to work now. And then and then when it's lunchtime and I'm going to go take a break, I go upstairs and I'm like, I'm not working right now. So it's been helpful to, even though I'm in my home space, to think about I have a workspace and I have a not workspace. And I've been much better, I will just tell you, about having an end time in my day when I won't tell you when it is. But it's earlier than it used to be. So just I've started some other things to make sure that I keep separate a little bit those parts of my life that, even though they're happening at the same physical place, that I think about them differently. And that has really helped me, that it's not all blending into one. So that was a practical thing that I learned early in this, is I needed to have some physical as well as mental separation from work and not work at my house.
Let's kind of get to know these two people, right? We have the president and the provost, kind of mysterious people to some of our students. I know that both of you do a great job of interacting with students, and much more so than typical provosts, deans, and presidents. But there are still some students that may not know you that well. So I think the next questions we're going to ask kind of get into some of those, get to know you a little bit on a personal level. First and foremost, Dr. Davis, what helps you find peace, and how do you relax?
The out of doors, being outside, even just in my yard. I have dogs as pets, and they, are helpful, I think, to talk to, because they never talk back, and they always listen to whatever you have to tell them. And I have a small hobby farm. I have about a dozen chickens who give me eggs every day, and I have a couple of very round goats, because they basically just eat. And then for those of you who know Jojo, the giant sulcata tortoise, he has been spending summers in the country, Shay Davis, for as long as he's lived at the college. And so he's gotten big and ornery over the years. And so I was just having to wrangle him a little bit. He thinks he needs to put a hole in the fence and get out with the rest of the animals. Letting the breeze, blow over me and feel the sunshine on my face. And it's just that it's meditative, it's spiritual in a way that maybe sitting in my office with my computer open isn't. So that's what I do. Is I like to be outside. Whatever it is that I'm doing, I like to go out and spend time in nature.
Same question to you, Dr. Corey. Finding peace or relaxing, how do you do that?
Yeah, I like physical activity too, getting outdoors. I'm a cyclist, so mountain biking, road biking, so forth. And I've certainly had a chance to do that, so that's been great. It's good stress relief and just to get out. I like to read, so I find that it's hard to be thinking about other things when you're reading. So that's been an ongoing thing for me. It's a chance for me to take a time out and step out of the box that sometimes could be a little stressful, worrying or thinking about different things, and just to immerse yourself in sometimes just a good fiction book even. So I find that to be good. And then, I'll just have to admit that, I can get stuck watching crazy YouTube channels or, things like that, just like, the next person. So there's always that. And, how many times can you watch that person, fails of the day. But so, just some, fun, lighthearted sorts of things like that, I think, are good for all of us.
So everybody's got usually a couple of these in the chamber, but Provost Davis, what's something about you that maybe most students wouldn't know, or a fun fact or something interesting about you?
I will share that I've had a lifelong aspiration to learn to speak Spanish, and I just went over 400 days on Duolingo, not missing a lesson.
That's incredible.
So I can highly recommend that strategy, about 5 to 15 minutes a day. And I'm not brave enough to say it here, but I'm actually able to have conversations now. So I'm far from bilingual at this point, but I'm so thankful to be as far along in my studies as I am at the moment.
President Corey, how about yourself? What's something most people might not know about you in the Olivet College family?
That I'm willing to tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah, there are probably many things that I'm not willing to tell you. But this is always a tough question for me. But I like to cook. I don't usually get to do it. I am not the normal cook in our family, not like Ryan, I know does the cooking for his family, but because of my schedule, one of our divisions of labor in our household, these days I've had the chance to do it, and I really like to do that. So that's maybe something that folks.
What's your go-to dish if it's President Corey batching it at home?
Well, one of the things I really like to do is to do new things.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
Right? So just, begin to think about an ingredient that you might want to use, and then maybe do a little research or use a little creativity and put something together. Sometimes even just like, what do you have? I mean,
Exactly.
Cooking's even better when you've got it all planned out and you go and you've got all the perfect ingredients and all of that sort of thing. It gets to be a adventure when you say, open up the fridge and the cabinet, say, what do I got and what could I put together that's not, just open the can and heat it up.
That's like your own version of Chopped,
That's what I was
right? So you open up the fridge and you see what's in there. I've been doing that for, a couple of months now. Like, what can I combine together to make a dinner out of?
I think we need to start a Chopped with the Coreys. And we'll open the presidential fridge and see what's in there, and he can put something together. I love this.
So I know, Dr. Corey, we'll start with you. You and I have talked a lot about essentially binge watching. I know we've shared interest in some of the same Netflix shows and stuff like that, but you also talk about being an avid reader. What are you binge watching right now, or what are you reading?
Well, the book I'm reading right now, I happen to have it sitting here on my desk, is called Rise and Kill First. Interesting title, Rise and Kill First. This was recommended to me by a notable alum that I think most of the Olivet community knows, Dave Cutler, who is a voracious reader. And he, I don't know if you're like me, but I read a lot of books and then I'll go, I've read that. It's sitting on my shelf. I've read that book, and what was that about? And Dave can tell you the details of every book. But anyway, it's as it says on the cover here, The Secret History of Israel's Targeted Assassinations.
Wow.
And it's like 600 and something pages long. But just a very interesting book. So I'm reading that, and that's not my normal sort of genre, but I like different sorts of things. I've been watching these. I'm a Netflix subscriber, and I like to watch international programs in the native language. I don't like the dubbed English stuff. I'd rather listen to the real language. Obviously, I don't know a word of Swedish or Norwegian, which I've been watching a lot. I've been solving a lot of crime in Scandinavia lately. And binge watching some of those programs.
So, Dr. Davis, same question to you. What are you watching? Any big readings going on?
Well, as I was thinking about this, I realized I really like historic fiction that's kind of got enough history in it that I can learn something. So, my husband and I binge watched Downton Abbey. And and now we're doing The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is set in the late 50s and 60s. And then I'm sort of by myself doing one called Call the Midwife, which is London, mid-century, last century London. And they're just all interesting ways to learn, very, very well done, but interesting ways to learn about those times and the big events that were happening. So that's been fun. And I've been for a couple of years now, I've been working my way through the Sue Grafton Alphabet Murder series. You might know that. She wrote starting with A and unfortunately ending with Y because she recently passed away. And I went to grab for W on my shelf and I realized I didn't have it. So now I have to go find a copy of W in the Sue Grafton series, or I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm a little... when you finish one book, you kind of go into a trough. Maybe this is what happens to me, and I don't want to pick another one up for a while. I want to just kind of let it roll over me. But now I'm ready for W, and I don't have it. So I'm going to have to find for a copy soon.
You can explore campus on a virtual tour, learn about the admissions process, and talk through financial aid with the expert admissions team during an OC Nation live virtual event every week, Tuesday through Thursday. Decision time for high school students is here, and Olivet College is excited to welcome you to the Comet family. Learn more and register now by contacting the Office of Admissions at 800-456
888-718-7189 or admissions@olivetcollege.edu.
First of all, President Corey, again, big question. What do you love about Olivet College? And part two to that, what would you tell students that are currently prospective students or students coming out of a very interesting high school situation? What would you tell them if Olivet College is on their list? So kind of works together a little bit, but what do you love about OC, and what would you tell students that are thinking about coming here?
Yeah, well, those are both softballs, I think. The first one is easy. What do I like about Olivet College? It's the people. It's the people, and that is absolutely not cliche. That is fact. And it is about the people. It's about the relationships, and that's what I do tell prospective students. What is the one word that describes the Olivet College experience? Relationships. And for those who had a chance to join in some of the virtual Honors Week celebrations, I think we saw that. Students were talking about their experience and their relationships with faculty and vice versa. As far as prospective students are concerned, I think that this is a difficult time to try to choose your college if you're somewhat uncertain and you wanted to try to test drive colleges. I would say, hey, be patient. College will still be here and will still be here.
Great. And Provost Davis, what do you love about Olivet, and what would you tell a student that has Olivet on their list, but they're not sure where to rank it yet?
Yeah, I would have to say absolutely the people, and I would even go so far as to say Olivet College is a family. Families care about each other, they celebrate together, they support each other through difficult times, and I can't say that enough, and just my own daughter was 1 year old when I started working at Olivet, and she has since graduated from there. And to be able to see Olivet College through her eyes, I always knew it was a great place, but to see her experience it and the kind of care and compassion and commitment to her as an individual who was looking to grow and to learn and to find her path in life was just amazing. So I would say, and in addition to that, I would say the mission, vision, and values of Olivet College resonate so strongly with me. We as the Olivet College family, I believe, are working to change the world for the better. So commitment to service, commitment to caring for each other and our planet and our, helping our society be better. I just think it's a wonderful place to come to be equipped to be a change agent in the world, to be a positive change agent. So I think if you're looking for a place where you will be welcomed and embraced and challenged and I believe changed in positive ways, I think Olivet could be a really great place for you.
All right, so as we close out, and thank you to both of you, you've been fantastic guests. This has been, I think this is great. Maria, is there anything that special or encouraging you'd like to share with the OC community?
I'm just excited to get back together together literally in the same place and, be in community again with everyone. So stay safe, stay positive, stay focused this summer on the next good things that are going to happen, and we'll be ready for you in the fall.
And same to you, Dr. Corey. Anything encouraging that you'd like to share with the Olivet College community?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. First, let me say thank you to both of you for the invitation to join you. I've been listening. I think I've got one podcast I still need to listen to, but just really appreciate what you're doing and appreciate being invited. Life presents us with challenges, big and small. And this is certainly one. Challenge can knock us off our feet at first, and we've got to get our balance. There's a little bit of a short-term sort of uneasiness, uncertainty. You're trying to work your way through it, but then eventually you need to shake it off and say, okay, now I've got to work my way through this. and get deliberative, be determined, rely on yourself and others, and come out of it stronger. Challenges present opportunities. And I think that this is yet again another situation where significant challenges, and I want to recognize and not forget that people are losing their lives. There are serious consequences of the challenge we're facing. So I don't in any way want to be misinterpreted that to be making light of it. Quite the contrary. This one is significant on both a personal and larger scale. But I think that it won't be the last challenge. It won't be the last challenge that we face, God willing, because life is about being presented with challenges. And so if we're blessed to have a long life, then there will be more to come. And so I guess the sort of the personal educator in me would conclude that there's something to also be learned by this experience, and how do we come out of it better equipped to face the next either personal or collective challenge, so that when we stress ourselves, when we face something that's uncertain, uncomfortable, that we get stronger and improve as a person and as a community and as a society. And so I guess that would be the framing that I'm trying to take as, sometimes it's a tough moment, a tough issue, trying to figure this out, either personally or on behalf of the college. And I think we can all maybe approach it that way.
Absolutely. And I second the claps that you can't see, but we are all doing it to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us, of course. I want to remind everyone listening and everybody involved in the call, you can, again, find us anywhere you get podcasts. This is Social Distancing, the Olivet College version, the podcast, where we like to remind people what Olivet College family is, and that it might not be physically in the same location, though we sure love what it is. But we're trying to find a way to bring everyone together, and I want to thank both of you for helping us do that today. And again, you can find us Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts, and even better through the Olivet College social media channels and on the Olivet College YouTube channel. And we do want to keep throwing that lure out there. If you want to be a part of the show, if you have questions you'd like to ask a member of the Olivet College family, or someone that we should have on, reach out to me. I'm Daine Pavlovski. My email is dpavloski@olivetcollege.edu, or Ryan Shockey. What's yours?
I'm Ryan Shockey at rshockey@olivetcollege.edu.
But I'll do quick thank yous. I want to thank Aaron Gowdy, Keon Do-Right Rainey, recent grad of Olivet College. Also Asher Wertheimer, Travis Garner, and Jackson Patton, the Olivet College Journalism Mass Communication students that helped with the intro and the outro. And also my lovely wife, Erin Pavlovski, who lent her dulcet tones to the intro as well. So thank you to her. Thank you to Provost Davis and President Corey. It's always a pleasure to have time to talk to all of you, especially now when you're in Zoom rooms constantly. So I appreciate you adding another Zoom room to the day to talk to us. And a quick thank you to all the students, faculty, staff, and everybody else in the Olivet College family. Keep it up. Shockey, thank yous.
Yeah, a big thank you again to Dr. Corey and Dr. Davis. It was great to have you on. We really appreciate you taking the time. We just keep, I guess we have all kinds of good guests on this show, don't we, Daine? It's been a lot of fun.
They're all the college people. They're all good guests. Must be the person booking
it. But a big thank you to Daine. He still tells me this takes him a lot of time to edit and put together, so I'll keep believing that and thanking him for all the time behind the scenes to get it cut up. And like he said, big thank you to our marketing department. I want to thank our students, and like we talked about last week, our incoming students who are still putting that faith in us and trusting us and coming to school this fall. We're excited to see you, so a big thank you for those of you out there. And then as always, our essential workers, our doctors, our nurses, our civil servants, and our politicians that are making sure that they do everything that they can to get this right for us and to allow us to come back into community as safe and effectively as possible. So great big thank you to everybody making those huge, hairy, ugly decisions so that way we can live life and come back to normal. And that rounds out my thank yous.
Perfect. Well, hopefully this helped bring a little light to your day, listeners, because it sure did for us. It always does. Until the next time, keep your eyes peeled, your ears open for the next episode. And until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and go Comets.
Go Comets.
Thanks for listening to Social Distancing. Don't forget to subscribe and be on the lookout for more content.